I found a much better way to do outbound in 2026, okay? Now, you don't have to send 100,000 cold emails, none of that, okay? This outreach method I'm going to go over in this video, I've done, at the time of this recording, I've done around 25 times, I've booked 20 calls, and I've closed 16 of them. Now, I'm not gonna do the maths on that, but that is something like a 70% close rate, not even 70% booked meeting rate. So this outreach method is very, 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 very powerful, and it can work well for you, and it can work for anyone as long as outbound and outreach works in your industry, if that makes sense. Cool. So, couple of conditions and want to call out exactly who this video worked well for. So number one, if you've been sending outreach and you routinely struggle to sign well clients. Now, anybody can get some clients via inbound, or if you even get decent at outreach, but you can't really scale a company like crazy unless you're signing the big boys and you're signing people that you truly want to work with. Everybody knows that the dream world clients, it's easier to get results for, they pay you the most money, and it's far more efficient, and just everything's easier in general. The next thing is you feel as if your current outbound is not great. Now, AI, machines, etc. has made the outbound space basically become completely and utterly cemented with nonsense because anybody can scrape a list and now send emails. The next thing is you want new method to signing new well clients. Now, as I'm sure you know, it is very difficult. It's doable, but it's very, very, very difficult, damn near impossible, to sign whales from traditional outbound methods, okay? You either need an absolutely massive personal brand, which is very, very, very difficult to build, or you can just do these methods. Now, all that being said, why on earth should you listen to me? So my name is Dan James, and I used to run a content agency and was able to scale it to like 30, 40K a month utilizing all these methods. And I never, ever did cold email, sending 100,000 emails once. I never, ever did it. I utilized these methods, okay? And I want to break down in a free-flowing format the outreaches that I've sent, the result, and what can happen as a result of it, okay? Awesome. So this is exactly how we sign 7 and 8 figure founders. Now, I'm going to be going over in particular just I think 1 or 2 strategies, but there are 4 strategies that we use, but I'm gonna just highlight 2 of them. So the first one is a Super Loom tactic. So this is where you essentially create a ridiculous video for one prospect. Now it does require video editing skills, it does require cinematography skills, which frankly is good because it increases the barriers to entry. The higher the barriers to entry are, the more difficult it is to replicate that method or tactic, which makes it more difficult to penetrate the market with. So this is an outreach that I did for a gentleman called Andre Huckle Jr. And I essentially flew all the way to Lebanon just to shoot his video because I knew he would love it. And I had like a whole Star Wars theme in there because I love Star Wars. Amazing. So the next thing is you need to ask yourself, why do you want to work with this person in particular? So it's all good and well creating something incredible for someone, but you need to know in detail why you want to work with them, the problems that you see, like you need to see current problems, how you can solve those problems, and the likely result that follows from solving those problems. If you can't answer those questions in detail, don't even outreach them. And to be candid, that goes for every single form of outreach. I don't think you should be doing outreach unless you know in detail how you can help that person. Now, of course, this isn't always applicable to mid-market enterprise, absolutely massive companies. They'll actually do discovery. They'll part of their discovery process is learning in full about the business. But the point I'm trying to make is that you need to have a fair idea of how you're going to help the prospect, because you want them to part with their hard-earned money. So it's important to understand them and their business. Okay, cool. Now, him in particular, he ran a massive SaaS company, and he also ran a massive coaching program. So I was like, okay, cool. I know I can help this guy. And I did all my detail and all my research around there. Cool. So what was the result of the outreach? So the result was he signed on as a client before hopping on the call, which is frankly ridiculous. He said publicly, I'm going to work with him, which made me shed a tear or two. And it led to $42,000 in cash collected from him and inbound leads as well. And he posted about it to his entire network, and he even sent it to his family too. These are all things that don't happen with other traditional outreach methods. And I think the other thing, and this is almost intangible, is the ripple effect that it had on our business and on the brand itself. I literally received a message today from someone saying, I saw your Lebanon video. It still ripples through the market. So the point is that if you are able to do something remarkable and then showcase it, people will talk about it and people will want to work with you off the basis of that. Does that make sense? Cool. And this was his response to it. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, when have you ever received response to outreach like that? Cool. Amazing. My iPad's bugging out. Amazing. So then you can also see here that the responses on LinkedIn were crazy too. And this is, again, an intangible thing that's almost difficult to wrap your head around, because when you are able to create ridiculous outreach for people, people will go, wow, like, this is something that I haven't seen before. What else can you do? How does this work? Can you do this for me? And it actually drives inbound leads. And this is something that other forms of outreach just won't do for you. So when you create something remarkable for people, make sure to post it publicly, okay? Now, someone said, oh, like, the ball's on you to post it publicly. But to me, it didn't even feel like I was doing something audacious, because I know that my outreach is incredible. So why would I not want to showcase it to people? Why would I not want to highlight to people that what I'm doing is awesome? Because frankly, it is. Food for thought, eh? Awesome. And then we go further down. And here's another example of a super loom that we created for people. Now, this one in particular, this led to a direct inbound lead. And when I say direct inbound lead, this gentleman actually highlighted on the call the outreach I did for someone else, and he said that he showed his partner. He said that he showed his wife. So again, all the same things are happening here. So in the outreach, I said, if this isn't the best outreach I've ever seen, I will shave my beard off. And then he played along and said, you're keeping that beard, dog. And then he posted it on Twitter as well. Now, again, this is how you're able to build your business from outreach, getting inbound leads, getting an inbound benefit from a completely different mechanism of outbound. It's absolutely awesome. Cool. And that's why creating incredible outreach is pivotal. I think the key thing is that so many people in today's day and age are doing outreach, but it's nothing to write home about. I think that's the reason why people hate outreach. I think people genuinely hate outreach because they know that they wouldn't buy and they wouldn't respond, let alone buy from them. So that's why they don't want to do it. You wouldn't want to respond. So instead of just doing the same old traditional slow, not even slow, but like actually slow for responses, slow for booking meetings. They come on the meeting not sold. It's a bunch of crap. Don't do that. Instead, go slower. You can get those people in the door by picking them off and explaining in granular detail how you can help them. It's just a far better way to go about it. Awesome. So then we move forward and we've got even more examples of us doing this for people. And you can see it's just the same things happening over and over and over again. Now, I want to showcase this one in particular. Now, the reason why I want to showcase this one in particular is because it shows the power of LinkedIn, okay? Now, this gentleman here is absolutely massive on LinkedIn. He's called Michel, Belgian gentleman. And we created a Super Loom video for him. Now, he posted the video. Sorry, he didn't post the video. He reposted the video to his network. Now, when somebody that has a brand that big post to their network, you also get the network effect and you get all the benefits from their network. And the other thing is, and this is something that I didn't truly understand until it started happening to me more and more, is that if you're being reposted by the biggest people and you're doing outreach for the biggest people and the biggest people are showing you interest and the biggest prospects and the biggest people in the industry are showing you love, appreciation, support of any kind, it raises your status like crazy. Your business becomes greatly associated with those people. So for example, I'll give a real example. So I've made it very clear on LinkedIn that I want to do outreach and I want to do this for Cole Gordon. Now, because I've said that publicly and people know it's coming, we say, oh man, like I can't wait for you to do the outreach for Cole Gordon. I haven't even done the outreach for him, but my status is being raised because I keep doing outreach for massive dream world clients. So as a result, other massive whale clients are like, well, he's working with all these whales. I want to work with him. And that's because the best only want to work with the best. Simple as that. And you are appearing and you become the best because you are working with the best. So instead of going downstream and fighting for retainers where it's 3, 4, 5K, and there's nothing wrong with that. I literally did that in my last agency. Instead, you can go up market and you can look to work with the people that are the biggest and the best in the industry and get a far bigger business because those people will give you will give you a higher LTV, higher LTGP, I should say. I'm an LTGP man. Amazing. And if we scroll on again, we'll see it happening. We'll see it happening all over with these two gentlemen. And I think the key thing is you'll see repeatedly they repost to their followers. We can get inbound leads from it, and then your status increases. And if you do this over time, your outreach starts working as inbound. Take that in. Please take that in. Your outreach becomes an inbound mechanism. It becomes an inbound sales asset. I still receive messages to this day, Deontay Wilder, to this day, about my outreach, okay? And it could be via Super Looms, or it could be via Strategy Doc, or it could be a physical good, or it could be an in-person stun. It doesn't matter. You just have to get creative with the different things that you can do to impress your prospect and to gain their attention. And then when you gain their attention, all you have to do is say, I did this really cool thing to gain this person's attention, and people will start posting about it. It's as simple as that. Amazing. And then we keep scrolling here. Brilliant. Amazing. Cool. And here you'll even see, and this will be a great one to go over. You'll see here, Connor actually is a great example of someone that was able to utilize these tactics, because he would send physical goods to prospects. So he was actually a pretty aggressive with it. He would send coffins to his prospect and says, the death of your business if you don't make this change. Now, me personally, I don't know if I back that. That's super aggressive. But he was able to sign people, and you can see the results that he had was crazy. But by doing things that gain attention and are outside of the ordinary, you can absolutely get anybody on the phone. You can frankly close whoever you want, because it's the hardest part of getting a Dreamworld client, or the hardest part of a Dreamworld prospect, is gaining their attention. The attention is the difficult part. Showcasing your expertise is easy, because you're on the sales call and you've already appeared as an expert. So when you're doing outreach, I want you to think more creatively around all the things that you can do that will allow you to get into that room, rather than just sending the same generic cold emails that frankly, your mom doesn't even want to respond to. Now, all that being said, if you want to learn my strategies in even more detail, I highly, highly, highly recommend watch this video here. I taught 300 plus people how to sign 25,000 plus clients LTV clients, per month, not even LTV, per month, 25,000 USD per month. Watch that video. I'll break it down in detail. Bye now.